it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I'm going to bring you a summer book haul. These are a bunch of books that I've been hauling for the past couple months. You're also going to probably hear some birds right outside my window. They just love hanging out right outside my window. But these are just a bunch of books that I've been hauling through the last couple of months. So not all of these were books that I bought in the summertime. My main goal really this year is to read the books that I already have on my shelf. So I've been trying to take in less books and then just keep reading what I have. Now that the BookTube SFF awards are officially over, I think I'm gonna finally start getting to that goal. And some of these, no, none of these really are BookTube SFF books, so you'll just get to see what struck my interest and what I have. All right, so the very first book that I'm hauling today, this is Year One, written by Nora Roberts. This is book number 1 of the Chronicles of the One. I think it's a trilogy. I haven't read any Nora Roberts ever, but I think she's a woman who loves herself a trilogy. This is more of a post-apocalyptic, maybe some romance, maybe some zombies or fae. I don't know. There's just like an amalgamation of a lot of good things in here. And to be honest, I picked up this book because she went to bat for it. The romance community went to bat for Nora when the whole Twitter fiasco happened with her and Tomi Adeyemi. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let me check that book out. I really wanted the paperback version, so I just wanted to wait till I found it for a good price. And this one I did end up getting off of Book Outlet. This book I've already shown in my mid-year book freakout tag. This is The Priory of the Orange Tree, written by Samantha Shannon. This is classic epic fantasy that I picked this book up after I had already been tagged as a judge for the BookTube SFF Awards. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of people who had started on it or maybe finished it already, and I just knew I wasn't going to be one of the people who could get to it in time. But now that I have some free space, I'm really happy to have this in my collection. It's a pretty hefty book, but it just sounds to me like it's got the things that I adore: magic systems, dragons, kingdom in turmoil. So it had me at hello, basically. So this is The Priory of the Orange Tree. I showcased this book on my Instagram, which is at whatcassread. This is The Baron the Nightingale, written by Katherine Arden. I've already owned this book. I already read this book, but this cover, this was a release of the hardcover edition on Book Depository, and I was in love with this cover ever since I saw it. So this was like the original cover that I really wanted to purchase. So I'm pretty happy to pick this one up, have it in my collection. It's one of my favorite books of all time. This is a book that I haven't gotten a chance to mention too much on my channel. This is Kingdom of Copper, written by S.A. Chakraborty. This is book number 2 of her Daevabad trilogy, the first one being The City of Brass. And I just had to get it in the UK cover as well because I just found that the UK cover of The City of Brass to be absolutely stunning. I ended up reading The City of Brass last year as one of the best debut books for the BookTube SFF Awards. It pulled me in enough that I really wanted to check out book number 2. It was quite the cliffhanger. There were just things that this book did toward the end that completely changed my mind about where this book was going. It felt like really cliche for a good part of it. Some of the characters just made decisions that I was not picking up on, and it really excited me, so I'm really happy to have this. Haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, so yeah, pretty pumped for this one. Yes, also I did just get a haircut. This is called It's 95 Degrees Out and I Just Can't Anymore. I'm trying to get used to the fact that there's like literally no hair past this part. I think it's been about 8 years since I've had hair this short too, so this is a pretty big deal. All right, this book, this is The City of Lies, written by Sam Hawke. I picked this one up off of Book Outlet as well. I was pretty excited to see this one on Book Outlet. They've just been like knocking it out of the park for me, to be honest. This book received like a lot of buzz earlier last year. It was a newer release last year, I think. It's book number 1 of the Poison War. This is, you know, definitely a fantasy kingdom, but there's a young man who is just this outward kid, but secretly he is a poisoner, a chancellor of poisons, or he's a poison master, and he's tasked with protecting the chancellor and their family, including the heir who is his BFF. Turmoil erupts, has to protect people. This did have like some pretty mixed reviews on Goodreads, so I just haven't heard a lot of people talk about this one on BookTube yet, so I'd be really interested to see if any of you have read this, what you think of it, because yeah, there was a little bit of a mixed buzz about it on Goodreads, but I just did want to pick it up because it was something that did interest me last year, I think. This book I've mentioned already in my Book Junkie Trials TBR. This is Sorcery of Thorns, written by Margaret Rogerson. This is the second book. I'm giving Margaret Rogerson a second chance. I did read An Enchantment of Ravens earlier this year, and I did DNF it, so it's kind of weird that I ended up picking up her second one. But my problems with An Enchantment of Ravens was that it was only about 300 pages, and there was a lot of really great setup. There was some really great characters and just the world, and I could tell she had a lot going for her with how manipulative some of the parts of and pieces of the world were, and I really liked that aspect. But then I felt like there was no build to what ended up being like a primary romance, teen romance that happened later in the book, and I was like, oh man, you know, I feel like if she had maybe 100 more pages, we wouldn't have run into this issue. Like, I really felt connected and drawn into her writing style, but I was like, I wish she had more pages. So then here comes Sorcery of Thorns. This is a completely separate standalone novel, both of them completely separate of one another. This is 100 pages more than An Enchantment of Ravens, and it's about a magical library and an enchanted grimoire, and it's got some dark magic to it. So some of the darkness that I was like picking up on parts of the world building from An Enchantment of Ravens, I really think I'm gonna get some of that in here, and I'm pretty pumped for it. So I hope to get to this one this month because I did put it in my TBR for the Book Junkie Trials, so we'll see. This is Sorcery of Thorns, written by Margaret Rogerson. Right here I have Age of Legend, written by Michael J. Sullivan. This is book number 4 of the Legends of the First Empire series. I have books 1 through 3. I have a whole video on how to read Michael J. Sullivan. Ride or die, I'm a Michael J. Sullivan fan. I will always pick up the newest book that he has. So this one, like I said, book number 4 of the Legends of the First Empire series. The first book being Age of Myth, then we have Age of Legend, Age of War, or no, not Age of Legend, oh crap, did it out of order. We have Age of Myth, book 1. Age of Swords is book 2, and then we have Age of War, then we have Age of Legend, and you're probably like, oh, why do you have all these bookmarks? And that's because I participated in the Kickstarter campaign to be able to get this book as an early release. Michael J. Sullivan is like super involved with his fans. Like, if you're a Michael J. Sullivan fan and you haven't really connected with him on any of his social platforms, he's really, really, really connected to his fans. So as a part of it, I got those 4 bookmarks. I got an ebook. I don't remember which one it was, but then I also got my signed copy of Age of Legend. This is the second signed copy of a Michael J. Sullivan book that I got, because I did also do a Kickstarter campaign for The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter, which is part of the Priory Chronicles. But I'm a big super fan, ride or die Michael J. Sullivan fan, so this is book number 4 of the Legends of the First Empire series. Okay, and then the next 2 books that I have are the last books that I have in this haul for you, and they include probably my most anticipated new release of 2019. And yes, that is Holy Sister, written by Mark Lawrence. This is book number 3 of the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. We just got done talking about Grey Sister for the BookTube SFF Awards. I adore this trilogy. I listened to it all on audiobook. Highly recommend that narrator. But I've already read it, have some thoughts about it. I just adore this series. And then the cool thing is, I now have Red Sister in hardcover. I found this on Book Outlet. So this makes me really excited because my first original copy of Red Sister was the mass market paperback. And then once I realized like how much I love this book, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait until the mass market paperbacks come out for the next one. So I went ahead and just bought Grey Sister on hardcover, and then, you know, as a book lover and as someone who like really wants trilogies to match, I was like, oh no, now my trilogy is definitely not gonna match. Problem solved. Book Outlet came through in the clutch, so now I have the whole Book of the Ancestor trilogy in hardcover. I'm super stoked for this. These are a set of books, a trilogy of books that I'm going to have on my shelf for a very long time. I don't anticipate ever unhauling these because I enjoyed this book series that much. Doesn't that look good? Isn't that just so fun when you have the set and it just matches? Like, you feel me. I feel like you're my people, and you definitely feel me on this one. Alright, so there we have it. There was my list of books that I've been hauling up until this point. I think the last book haul that I did was in February. So that's good because I've been trying to, you know, take in less and just kind of get rid of some stuff that I haven't really been enjoying. So I'm still sticking to that plan, but I think the list of books that I have right here are going to be keepers. Otherwise, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and you can also follow me on Goodreads. So Instagram and Twitter at whatcassread, same as this channel. Goodreads link is always listed down below. You know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later.